right, 9mm versus 40 versus 45. And what we have today is our Winchester USA Ready hollow points. Interesting ammunition, because this has like kind of a plug in the hollow cavity, but unlike being like a solid filled plug, it's more of like a hollow type thing. So in a lot of respects, that makes a lot of sense, because basically, you know, it's still remaining hollow in some sense, but we have kind of like a great thing to, you know, filter out any like denim and stuff like that. Some of the issues that, you know, hollow points may have a problem with when it comes to expanding. So I'm going to do 5-inch pistols, our 5-inch M&P 9 and 40. This is actually a 5.3-inch Glock 41, but because the 45 ACP cartridge is slightly longer, it really is kind of a fair comparison to have pretty much the same overall barrel travel in those guns. So our 9mm is a 124 grain, our 40 is a 170 grain, and our 45 is a 200 grain. A lot of people would argue those are pretty ideal bullet weights. Now, our 9mm is rated at 1,200 feet per second. Our 45 is rated at 1,000 feet per second. If I recall right, that's like 399 foot-pounds, 444 at the 45. But with our 40, it's actually rated at 1,170 feet per second, something like 520 foot-pounds, something like that. It's got a really high rating for its energy, so I'll be really interested to kind of see if we get that type of velocity. So we are going to go through the chronograph, see what kind of velocity and accuracy we get at the same time. Keep in mind, this target is, you know, relatively small. And then I'm going to do my 10% clear ballistic test. And what I'm going to do here is our best case scenario versus our worst case scenario. So with our best case scenario, what I'm going to do is just plain clear ballistics. You know, straight plain clear ballistics, no denim, no MDF. By the way, MDF is medium density fiberboard to represent ribs or sternum. So just plain clear ballistics. Then I'm going to put in this 1/4-inch MDF and see how they compare for more of our real world scenario testing, which, you know, that will have 4 layers of denim and then 3 inches of clear ballistics, a 1/4-inch MDF. And then I'm going to shoot from, I think I'm just going to go to 12 yards today, just to kind of see our practical accuracy at my steel silhouette, because it really is kind of rare you have to fire behind that. So let's get started with this test. All right, first up, let's chronograph our rounds. 9mm rated at 1,200 feet per second. Let's see what we actually get here. 1299, nice. 1303. 1286. 1286. 1292, nice. 40 Smith & Wesson rated at 1170. Let's see what we get. 1131. 1171. 1103. No read. 1086, interesting. No read. Let me try to get one more. 597. So interesting there. It's still a good round. It's still powerful. It's just really well below rated velocity. All right, 45 ACP rated at 1,000 feet per second. Let's see what we get with this. 990, 999, 961, 961, 991. So, you know, our 45 is a little bit below rated velocity. Our 40 is quite a bit below rated velocity. Our 9mm is quite a bit above rated velocity, and we see that constantly nowadays, where they're really pushing that 9mm, but kind of not doing their best job at loading the other cartridges. So let's hit our ballistic shell block and see what we get. All right, we're going to do our best case scenario test, just plain clear ballistics. Start with our 9mm. Let's try our 40 now. 40 Smith & Wesson. Let's try our 45. All right, 45 ACP. Let's go take a look. All right, so interesting results. It definitely looks like we got some good performance there. With our 9mm, we went to right at about 13.5 inches, which is pretty nice. With our 40 caliber, we went to about 15.25 inches. Again, real nice. 45 ACP, we went to about 13.5 inches. And we're seeing expansion with all of these. It looks like the 9mm may not be as consistent, but it's really kind of hard to tell from this angle. But our 40 and our 45 look like we have really good, expansion. It looks like our 40 dumped the most damage in there. But we're gonna try our medium density fiberboard test now because, straight clear ballistics, a lot of times it makes everything look like it's a lot closer. And with my medium density fiberboard and our denim to try to clog that hollow point, sometimes we can get a clearer result of really how they compare. So let's try that. All right, 9mm through our denim and our MDF. Let's see what we get. Our 40 now. All right, 40 Smith & Wesson. Let's try our 45 now. 45 ACP. All right, I'm gonna hit it one more time at the 40 because we got to pass through. And I want to confirm those results. Now let's go take a look. All right, so what we're seeing here, here's our MDF. And our first shot down here was with our 9mm. We clearly got some expansion on that first 3 inches. Here's our 40, clearly we did not. Here's our 45, it looks like we got some. I put in a new piece of that for our 40. And again, we're confirming the results that we're not getting any expansion with that 40. So what we're getting here, looks like our 9mm is doing quite well. We have a lot of damage in there. And we stopped at about 17¼ inches. With our 40, both of them passed right through, and it actually looks like the damage is no more great than the 9mm with our 40. Now with our 45, we have a little more damage up there than the rest, but what we got here is no expansion, and we're at about 21¼ inches. So the takeaway I can kind of see from this is that the 9mm seems to be a really well-performing round. It's consistent through our MDF and with our plain clear gel. Now with our 45, that's relatively consistent. It's good through our plain gel, but when we look at our MDF shot, it clogged it up and it just didn't expand. With our 40, complete over penetration. I think it's just a little bit too powerful is to be honest what I think about that. But also, if we're getting through 2 gel blocks, there's no way that it expanded either. So really the only great round here is going to be our 9mm. Just the way they loaded it, it was above rate of velocity. It had really good velocity. Velocity like that, it wouldn't even really matter what the bullet design is. It generally is going to work really well. In our 40, I would not use that. But our 45, that's not bad. It's okay because it didn't do any extreme over penetration. 21¼ inches. If we were talking organic gel, we might get something more like 19 inches. So really, I mean, it's not that bad. It just didn't expand. So let's shoot from that 12 yards and just see what kind of practical accuracy I can get with these. All right, 12 yards from the target, I'm going to do kind of backwards order, 45, 40, 9mm, just see how they compare. So let's try our 45. Just gonna aim center mass, see how they shoot for me. All right, not too bad. There's a 40 caliber, and by the way, I took the rounds out of these because I'm sticking them in my pockets. So, see how our 40 does, same thing. So that one I feel slide up just a little bit. So, both the 40 and the 45, I kind of feel just kind of slide up, and I have to kind of reposition my grip as I'm firing. So that's one thing to note. Here's our 9mm. See how this does. All right, so definitely did not slide up out of my grip at all. We had really, really good controllability this round, which for the power of it is really nice. And that just has a lot to do with momentum and bullet jump and stuff like that with bullet weights. So what I'm going to say here is, at least through 5-inch pistols, our 9mm is really the best cartridge here out of these 3. Really performed quite well. Our 40 didn't really perform that well at all. I don't really have, you know, recovered bullets other than like just the one through playing gel. So interesting there with our 45, that did okay. So, you know, 9mm, great. 45, 40 caliber, no thanks. So that's what you get today. So as always, comment, share, and like, and thanks for watching.